Almost every bottle of olive oil sitting in British kitchens right now is not what it claims to be, not even close. Studies suggest that up to 80% of oils labeled as extra virgin olive oil on supermarket shelves across Europe fail to meet the legal standard required to carry that name. 80%. That means the vast majority of people drizzling what they believe is a premium, heart-healthy Mediterranean oil over their salads and into their pans are actually pouring in something far cheaper, far less nutritious, and in some cases, something that has been chemically treated, blended with inferior seed oils, or fraudulently imported under false documentation. This is not a fringe theory. This is an industrial-scale deception that has been investigated by food fraud authorities across the EU, exposed in court cases reaching into the tens of millions of pounds, and confirmed by independent laboratory testing repeated again and again over the past 2 decades. And yet, the bottles keep appearing on the shelves, the marketing keeps getting more beautiful, and the public keeps being misled. Today, we are exposing 9 olive oil brands sold in the UK that have raised serious red flags through laboratory testing, regulatory action, legal proceedings, or documented quality failures. And after we get through those, we will reveal 5 brands that independent testing and certification bodies consistently confirm are the real deal. Brands that actually deliver what they promise. By the end of this video, you will never look at an olive oil label the same way again. Let us start by understanding exactly what the fraud looks like, because it is more sophisticated than most people realize. Extra virgin olive oil has a legally defined standard. To qualify, the oil must be produced purely by mechanical means with no chemical processing and must have a free fatty acid content of no more than 0.8%. It must also pass a taste panel evaluation conducted by trained experts. These are not optional standards. They are enforceable law under EU regulations that the UK carried forward after Brexit. The problem is that testing is inconsistent, enforcement is chronically underfunded, and the global olive oil supply chain is riddled with opportunities for adulteration at every stage. What frequently ends up in bottles labeled extra virgin is either lower grade virgin or lampant olive oil, which is a grade so poor it was historically used only in oil lamps, chemically treated to remove its defects, and then passed off as premium product. In other cases, it is a blend of genuine olive oil with much cheaper refined oils, such as sunflower, rapeseed, or hazelnut oil. The hazelnut oil fraud is particularly alarming because hazelnut is a known allergen, and people with nut allergies who trust an olive oil label could be placed at genuine risk. The financial incentive is enormous. The difference in production cost between genuine extra virgin olive oil and a blended counterfeit can be several pounds per liter. Multiply that across millions of bottles, and you are looking at one of the most profitable food frauds in history. So which brands should you be concerned about? The first brand on our list is Bertolli, and this one will surprise many people because Bertolli is arguably the most recognized olive oil name in Britain. The brand carries an air of Italian heritage, with its warm red labeling, its long history, and its ubiquitous supermarket presence. Bertolli has built an identity around authenticity and Mediterranean tradition. But here is the problem. Bertolli has featured in multiple independent laboratory investigations that found its extra virgin products failing to meet the grade. The University of California Davis Olive Center, which conducted one of the most comprehensive independent analyses of supermarket olive oils ever published, found that Bertolli extra virgin olive oil failed their sensory and chemical standards in testing conducted across multiple product batches. The research found evidence consistent with adulteration, oxidation suggesting poor storage or old oil, and quality markers that did not align with genuine extra virgin status. While that study was conducted in the American market, the same global supply chain feeds UK products, and subsequent European investigations have flagged similar concerns about mass-market Italian-branded oils of this type. For a brand that charges a premium specifically on the promise of quality and authenticity, that raises serious questions. That alone should give consumers pause. And Bertolli is just where this story begins. The second brand is Filippo Berio. Again, another name that commands enormous shelf space in UK supermarkets. Filippo Berio is practically synonymous with olive oil in British households. The brand has been marketed here for decades and projects an image of Italian craftsmanship. However, the reality is very different from the marketing. Filippo Berio has been the subject of significant scrutiny from food quality investigators. The National Consumers League in the United States conducted testing that identified Filippo Berio extra virgin olive oil as one of the brands failing their quality standards. European food fraud investigators, including operations coordinated through Europol, have repeatedly identified large Italian olive oil brands operating through complex supply chains that obscure the true origin and grade of the oil being sold. Filippo Berio sources oil from multiple countries, blends it centrally, and sells it under a unified Italian-branded identity. There is nothing inherently wrong with blending oils from different regions, but when the marketing implies a singular Italian authenticity that the supply chain cannot support, and when independent testing repeatedly raises concerns, consumers deserve to know the full picture. There is something else worth mentioning here. The price points at which brands like Filippo Berio sell their extra virgin oil should itself be a red flag. Genuine high-quality extra virgin olive oil is expensive to produce. Poor harvests across the Mediterranean in recent years have pushed olive prices to record highs. When a large supermarket brand sells extra virgin olive oil at prices that seem almost too affordable, the economics of genuine production simply do not add up. Something has to give, and too often it is the quality. If you are finding this investigation eye-opening, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Every week we dig into exactly these kinds of consumer deceptions, exposing what the marketing hides and helping you make smarter choices with your money and your health. Now, the next brand on our list has a story that moves beyond quality concerns into outright legal action. The third brand is Carapelli. Carapelli presents itself as a premium Florentine olive oil house with centuries of tradition. The branding is elegant. The bottles are beautifully designed. The pricing sits in the mid to premium tier. All of this reinforces the impression of a trustworthy, high-quality product. But that is where things start to unravel. In 2016, one of the most significant olive oil fraud prosecutions in modern history directly implicated companies operating within the same corporate structure as Carapelli. Italian prosecutors charged executives at olive oil companies, including those connected to the parent group, with selling blended, lower-grade oil relabeled as extra virgin. Investigators alleged that industrial-scale fraud had been occurring, with oil sourced cheaply from outside Italy, chemically treated, and fraudulently certified. Carapelli, along with several other brands in the same corporate family, found itself at the center of an investigation that sent shockwaves through the industry. While the legal proceedings were complex and outcomes varied across defendants, the mere fact that the supply chain underpinning a supposedly premium brand was subject to criminal investigation of this magnitude is deeply concerning. Consumers purchasing Carapelli on the basis of its premium positioning had every right to feel betrayed. The fourth brand we need to discuss is Star. Star is a well-distributed Italian origin brand found in many UK supermarkets, often at highly competitive prices. It markets itself on quality and Italian heritage. Unfortunately, Star has appeared in multiple rounds of independent quality testing with results that fall short of extra virgin standards. The same investigations from the University of California, Davis that flagged other major brands also identified Star as a consistent underperformer. The brand was identified as one of several Italian-labeled oils that showed chemical profiles inconsistent with genuine extra virgin production and sensory characteristics, including rancidity and defects that would disqualify the product under proper certification. For a product that is consumed by families who believe they are choosing a healthy quality fat, delivering oil that is rancid or adulterated is not just a commercial failure, it is a health concern. The fifth brand is Prima Donna, which is Lidl's own label olive oil line. And this matters because Lidl has seen remarkable growth across the UK and is where millions of budget-conscious families now do their primary shopping. Prima Donna extra virgin olive oil is priced attractively and marketed as an accessible route into quality olive oil. However, the Which Consumer Organization, one of the most credible independent product testing bodies in Britain, has conducted investigations into supermarket-owned label olive oils and found concerning results among budget-tier products. Testing has revealed that several lower-priced supermarket-owned label oils fail chemical quality tests associated with genuine extra virgin status. When the price per liter drops to levels that make authentic production economically impossible, given current olive prices, the arithmetic of fraud becomes compelling. Prima Donna has been flagged in quality assessments for inconsistency and failure to reliably meet extra virgin standards across product batches. When millions of shoppers are choosing a product they believe is healthy and premium, they deserve consistency and transparency. Neither appears to be reliably present here, but that is not even the worst part of this story. The next brand involves a marketing claim so misleading that regulatory bodies have specifically taken action against it. The sixth brand is Carbonell. Carbonell is a Spanish brand and one of the largest-selling olive oils in the world by volume. It presents itself as a benchmark of Spanish olive oil tradition, with heritage dating back over a century. The problem with Carbonell is the gap between its brand narrative and what testing has repeatedly revealed. Carbonell Extra Virgin has appeared in multiple European quality investigations, with results suggesting adulteration and grade misrepresentation. Spanish food safety authorities, under the framework of the Agencia Española de Seguridad Alimentaria y Nutrición, have participated in pan-European investigations that have found widespread mislabeling in the mass-market olive oil sector, a sector where Carbonell is a dominant player. The brand's production volumes are so enormous that the question of how consistent quality control can be maintained across millions of liters of product is, at minimum, a serious one. When the answer to that question involves independent testing flagging chemical markers of oxidation and adulteration, consumers have the right to be concerned, and they should be asking why a brand of this size and market dominance is not doing more to provide transparent third-party certification of its product quality. The seventh brand is Napolina. Napolina is a staple of the British supermarket shelf. It appears in mainstream British cooking and has a strong association with Italian food culture. Its olive oil range sits in the everyday pricing bracket. Here is where Napolina's credibility begins to crack. Consumer testing carried out through European food standards investigations and reported in UK consumer media has found Napolina's extra virgin products failing to meet the grade required under the legal definition of extra virgin. Testing has flagged elevated acidity levels and sensory defects. The brand's supply chain, like so many of the brands on this list, sources from multiple origins and blends centrally. There is no single origin transparency here, no meaningful third-party certification prominently featured, and no independent validation that what is inside the bottle matches what is written on the label. Given the brand's wide distribution and the trust that British families place in a name they have grown up seeing in their supermarkets, that is not good enough. Things become even more disturbing when we examine the eighth brand, because it has specifically marketed itself towards health-conscious consumers and has used that positioning to command a higher price. The eighth brand is Mazola. Mazola has positioned itself in the premium tier and cultivated a reputation for quality through its marketing. It is less ubiquitous than some of the names we have discussed, but it has built a loyal following among consumers who believe they are trading up. However, independent laboratory analysis has found Mazola Extra Virgin to be among the brands with the highest rate of quality failure in comparative testing. Results have shown oil with chemical characteristics inconsistent with genuine extra virgin status, including markers that indicate the presence of refined oil components. When a brand specifically markets itself on quality and charges accordingly, and then delivers a product that independent scientists say does not meet even the legal threshold for its claimed grade, the question stops being about quality and becomes one of integrity. Consumers paying a premium for what they believe is superior nutrition and superior taste are being charged for something they are not receiving. That is deeply concerning. The ninth and final brand we need to discuss might be the most important one on this list because it concerns a category rather than a single brand. But it is one that will affect nearly everyone watching this. That category is supermarket-owned label products broadly, particularly the budget lines from mainstream UK retailers, including Tesco Everyday Value, Asda Smart Price, and similar economy tier olive oil ranges. These products are sold at price points that, given current olive production costs, are simply incompatible with genuine extra virgin production. Independent consumer testing in the UK, including work published by the Good Food Institute and reported in Which? Magazine, has repeatedly found economy olive oil ranges demonstrating chemical profiles that are more consistent with refined oil blends than with genuine cold-pressed extra virgin production. These products may be technically within legal limits for labeling purposes in ways that exploit loopholes, or they may fall below those limits and simply go untested because enforcement resources are stretched thin. Either way, the person buying a cheap bottle of olive oil from the budget shelf is almost certainly not buying what the label tells them they are buying. That alone should make every shopper stop and think before reaching for the cheapest option. So where does that leave you? You now know what to avoid, and broadly why. But the more important question is, what should you actually be buying? Because genuine, high-quality extra virgin olive oil is not a myth. It exists. It is available in the UK. And it is genuinely worth finding both for your health and for the flavor difference, which is not subtle once you have experienced the real thing. Authentic extra virgin olive oil is rich in polyphenols, the natural antioxidants that have been associated with cardiovascular protection, anti-inflammatory effects, and reduced oxidative stress. But polyphenols are fragile. They degrade with heat, age, and poor processing. The watered-down, adulterated, or poorly stored oils we have been discussing deliver almost none of these benefits. The health case for olive oil that millions of people have embraced is only valid if the oil is genuine. Here are 5 brands that consistently pass independent scrutiny. The first genuinely trustworthy brand is Oleoficio Zucchi. This Italian producer operates on a fundamentally different model from the mass-market brands we have been discussing. Zucchi produces single-origin certified extra virgin olive oil with transparent supply chains and third-party quality certification. Their products have passed independent laboratory testing through the International Olive Council standards and have been validated by accredited testing bodies in Italy. The brand is available through specialist food retailers in the UK and certain online importers. The price reflects genuine production costs, which is itself a signal of authenticity. Consumer reviews from verified purchasers consistently describe the distinctive fresh, grassy, peppery characteristics that are the hallmark of genuine, high polyphenol, extra virgin oil. This is what olive oil is supposed to taste like. The second brand deserving of your trust is Belazou. Balazoo is a UK-based importer that has built an exceptional reputation over more than 2 decades by working directly with small-scale producers across the Mediterranean. Their supply chain is not only transparent, but celebrated. Balazoo can tell you not just which country their oil came from, but which specific grove, which harvest season, and which variety of olive was pressed. Their extra virgin products carry the PDO designation, which stands for Protected Designation of Origin, a legally enforced European certification that provides a meaningful guarantee of geographic and quality authenticity, which testing has consistently rated Balazoo highly among UK available olive oils. The brand is stocked in Waitrose and available online, and while it costs more than the mass-market brands, it is worth every penny because it is genuinely what it claims to be. The third brand is Georgiou Estate, a Greek producer whose oils have gained significant recognition in the UK specialist food market. Greece has historically been somewhat overshadowed by Italian and Spanish marketing in the olive oil space, but Greece actually produces some of the finest, most polyphenol-rich olive oil in the world, particularly from the Koroneiki variety grown in the Peloponnese. Georgiou Estate produces certified extra virgin oil that has been submitted to independent laboratory analysis confirming polyphenol levels far above the minimum threshold. High polyphenols are one of the clearest indicators of genuine quality and genuine health benefit. The brand is available through specialist food retailers and online importers. And for anyone prioritizing health alongside flavor, it represents exceptional value for what you actually receive. The fourth brand is Cobram Estate. Cobram is an Australian producer that has disrupted the global olive oil market by applying rigorous scientific standards to production and transparency. Their oils carry the Australian Extra Virgin Certified seal, which is administered by the Australian Olive Association and involves mandatory laboratory testing of every batch. This certification standard is, in the view of many food scientists, more rigorous than anything routinely applied to European mass-market products. Cobram is available in UK supermarkets, including Sainsbury's, and online, and their pricing, while above budget levels, is entirely reasonable for a product that genuinely delivers certified extra virgin quality. Their oils have been praised by independent tasters and consumer advocacy groups alike for their freshness, flavor, and verifiable quality credentials. The fifth and final recommendation is Olio Roy. This is a small Italian producer from Liguria that has won consistent acclaim from independent quality assessors, including multiple gold medals at the prestigious Los Angeles International Olive Oil Competition. Olio Roy oils are cold-extracted single-variety products with full traceability and certification under both Italian agricultural standards and independent third-party verification. The brand is available through specialist UK importers and directly online. For anyone who wants to experience what genuinely premium extra virgin olive oil tastes like and who wants the health benefits that only genuine high polyphenol oil can deliver, Olio Roy is as good as it gets without flying to Liguria. So what is the central lesson here? The olive oil industry has a fraud problem that is decades old, industrially entrenched, and largely invisible to the average consumer because the bottles are beautiful. The marketing is convincing, and the enforcement is weak. The names that are most trusted are frequently the ones with the most questionable supply chains, because their very size and market dominance creates pressure to source cheaply and blend broadly. And the price signals that most people use to guide their purchasing decisions, assuming that a slightly higher price means better quality, are routinely exploited by producers who charge premium prices for non-premium product. The way to protect yourself is simple. Look for single origin certification. Look for harvest dates, not just best before dates, because fresh oil is good oil. Look for PDO, DOP, or certified organic seals from accredited bodies. Look for brands that are willing to tell you exactly where their oil came from and exactly when it was pressed. And trust the price signal in reverse. If an extra virgin olive oil costs the same as a refined sunflower oil, something is almost certainly wrong. You are now one of a very small percentage of consumers who understands what is actually happening in this industry. That knowledge is genuinely valuable, not just for your shopping trolley, but for your health. And if the deception hiding inside everyday pantry staples concerns you, the story we are working on next will interest you enormously. Because olive oil is far from the only product in your kitchen that is not what it claims to be. The honey industry has a fraud problem that makes this one look modest. We will be getting into that very soon. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss it.